I do
You're live.
problem. You guys took away a position in the auditor's office.
Okay.
That used to be. My deputies are out, one of my other people's out. My other person doesn't get a lunch because we don't have a floater anymore.
You don't close your office for an hour so she can have lunch?
That's the only offices, but we're not supposed to close our offices during the middle of the day. Or we never have.
I see lots of clerks
We
office
on?
and assessors and auditors that close their office for lunch. if
Are we
they're
on,
short
Jen?
staffed, especially. Some of
So
them do it even when they're full staff.
just for anybody watching, it's Friday, August the 15th, 9:00 a.m. We're going to start the Scott County budget session with going through all the department heads and begin with the 2026 budget. If Heather can take out the camera.
I'd like to sometime.
First up and with us is Diana Kozart with the assessor's office. Whatever you want to tell us. I think you guys have it.
Assessors, right?
Yep.
The schedule's gonna have to come out front. So,
Other than changing on the general one, other than changing the amount of the, hoping to get a raise, yeah, the salary, that's the only thing on that one.
I didn't know those, the level 3 certification, they've only used 1,500 to year to date. So I don't know if that still needs to be 25.
The level 2 certification, you guys you have to pay another round of it, don't you? Because you usually use the 25. I think it comes out late
That
here.
comes out of yours, then I take Jennifer's out of the reassessment budget.
Okay.
But there's an Indiana code that when they adopted that the assessors comes out of the general fund,
Gotcha.
since I have to have that in order to do my job. Unless you guys want to hire somebody else, you know.
No, I think assessor's one of those jobs you gotta be pretty good at.
You have to have a level 3 certification.
Yes.
The sales disclosure, it stays the same too, doesn't it? Looks like most of them are
Everything else.
pretty much the same.
Stays the
I
same
can only
except
take
for-
certain things out of sales disclosure fund, and one of them is part of the salary for the person that does my sales disclosures,
Yeah.
which basically the only thing I take out of it is for proof insurance, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, the highest
And it
part.
was, I could take it out of the reassessment fund, but I had the extra fund, so that's what I use it for.
Yeah. And the other one you have is the new reassessment, right?
Right.
Which is your second deputy.
Yeah.
And then level 2 certification on that one also is 2,500. That's the same. Group line. Everything else stay the same on it.
Yes.
what's your equipment, Diane?
Just in case something breaks, because Andrew doesn't buy printers anymore, copy machines. And, we've got one in there that is old. I think it was still there when I got there, it was still there. It was there. We're, waiting for the day for it to die.
What's the contractual new construction?
That is the Tyler contract that does our,
Does
that's the
Thanks.
actual contract, yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And it also covers, we're still paying for our program that we bought 4 years ago, so we're still paying on that, out of that one, so.
Yeah, everything else is the same except.
I looked it up and I did, I looked it up and I did check that, but I couldn't. It may be next year, maybe this year, next year. I checked that.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to ask you that.
Everything.
What'd she say the contract was?
The Tyler contract.
Yeah, that's a contract for the system that they
Right.
bought a couple years ago.
And then, if we get the people to fly again, the aerial comes out of that.
I like to make good notes of next year.
Yep. Which, I mean, it's in there. So.
Well, I see the contract, I just wonder if that was the contract.
Everything else, I mean, running on par, your office usually always does.
Yes, and I keep a spreadsheet knowing exactly what I spend and how much, so I got left on everything.
Appreciate it. I don't know what's gonna happen with raises yet. I don't know if we're going to be able to give raises, if we're gonna try to do a bonus type thing. I don't know, we've kicked around in 25 something, and I would like to talk about that again before the end of the year. Because if we're gonna give a bonus, I think if we could do it before, most of our employees are buying Christmas presents and things, would be the way to go to help them out. The idea behind that was from Baker Tilly last year, and they said the more that you increase salaries, the higher your level goes every year. So trying to keep the overall down so that you don't mess with other numbers like getting bonds and things like that. If the county needs it, then transition to more of a paid out bonus idea, keeps it that way. So I'm hoping to look at that still even for 25, and I don't know if that'll be the route we go 26 or if we change salaries in 26 yet.
Okay.
But
Okay. But
I think we ultimately have to do something for our employees, or else there's no real reason to keep working for county government, to be quite honest. Ultimately, we all go to work for a job and money, and that's what makes the world go around. So I understand that, and it really troubles me that we can't have built-in raises every year, but
those people the people that are upset that you don't get a raise need to come to my office about April 15th of every year when the taxes go out,
yeah.
because those people are not happy at all. Yeah, then you realize, maybe I am making too much money. Not that,
Grateful
I
to
don't
be there, right?
Huh?
Grateful to
yeah,
what you got.
yeah.
Well, the worst part is the people in our county who are weighing the punishment of not having the money for raises is the ones who can't mandate the county to give raises. So that's the part that upsets me the most, is you have the right built into law to sue the county and then you get whatever you want. And all of the rest of us that don't pay that price.
I just hear the taxpayers, and
So
it's tough.
it is
Some of
very
these
much.
taxpayers is very tough. Mhm.
And I see both sides of it. I mean, that we're all taxpayers too, but you gotta keep government going somehow, and that's what we're trying to do. So, but I appreciate you, and I mean, it looks to me like everything's on point. We'll figure out what we're doing with salaries, and yours should be
Like I
pretty
said, that
simple, I
float
would say,
position would be helpful.
to bring back. Okay.
Mhm. Because, like I said, I was gone, Jennifer had an emergency with her family, so Lisa was there, and she had no lunch, She got somebody to bring the lunch in, but we usually don't close our office because when somebody brings something in, they need to see, why do
Yeah.
people have to come back 20 times to do
Right.
something, We don't think that's, public service on my part, if you have the office closed.
Right.
You're not dealing with the public at that point in time, and not a lot of people like that.
I understand that.
Especially when they have X amount of time for lunch, and, I get here and, today it's closed,
A lot
tomorrow
of
it's
people do
not.
things on their lunch hour.
Yeah. Yeah, so, having a position there is nice to have.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense. Definitely something we can look at.
yeah, so, okay, am I
Thank you,
done?
ma'am. I think so. Unless
Okay,
you
thank
need
you.
something. Thank you.
Thank you, have a good day.
Thanks. So some of you guys, this is the first time, if you flip back past her Form 1s, you'll get to what looks like this.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be like a location budget for, this year. So if you wanna know, and they've spent, to whatever date this was posted, it was printed off the 24th of July. So up until the 24th of July, travel expenses, she's given $1,500 and hasn't spent any of it. So that's kind of what we have done in the past, is look at what we give in 25. And then one thing we looked at was, well, if you went in and say travel expense, you were given $1,500 in that line, and you transferred the full 1,500 out to something else, then maybe that's something we need to address at a budget. So that's kind of how we start making decisions on budgets, is to look a lot at a snapshot of what they're spending. Hers is usually always in line, and I think she runs her office as reasonably as she can. Do you guys have any questions so far, or anything on her stuff?
So she just got 3 people in her office.
One's part-time, and I think one full-time, her,
So the second deputy, the chief deputy.
she has, that's the full-time one, right? And then she has a part-time, or does she have one more full-time?
The second deputy,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, but she was 2 full-time.
There's two full-times and then Diane.
All right,
And then there's other people in that office that are connected with the contract, that Tyler contract. So you'll see people in and out there, but they're
yeah,
not actually, they're with the Tyler instead of us. So,
I mean, my opinion on hers, other than talking about salaries, which would be for about everybody, hers is pretty straightforward, and it's exactly what she's had in 25. I don't see where there's a bunch of changes to that.
You was talking about some of these that are 100%.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to see that those have been transferred from one to another.
Yeah.
But, because I'd hate to say, okay, they're not going to use that, but actually in December, they have a subscription that comes up.
Right.
So we pull something from them that is normally a December
She don't
charge.
do
Does that make sense?
She doesn't do a lot of transfers, does she? Jennifer?
No,
I don't think she ever does.
insurance usually is
So
what
you-
will catch her, and it'll be that something came through she wasn't expecting or a raise.
What you will see is like in the original appropriation, there'll be some quotations, and like an additional or an adjusted will have a number in it. And that's how you'll know, like generally say they take $1,000, it'll be in parentheses,
Yeah.
and you'll see 1,000 somewhere else
Okay.
show up. And I think it's in parentheses too, isn't it? The transfer where it goes in. I don't remember.
I'm like.
I'll find one throughout the day and show you.
No, you're
But,
No, I just wanted to
but yeah, you
make
can,
sure you'd be able to see that, okay,
Yeah.
you're keeping this money over here, but now you're moving it over there,
Yes.
not using it, as opposed to if it's 100%, we say, they're not using it, but little do we know they're gonna be using it in December or
Right.
November.
Exactly.
So,
and say, just for an example, she doesn't use travel expense, $1,500.
right,
December rolls around and she doesn't use it.
there's a conference or something in November that she goes
Yeah.
to though, that's my fear, you'd say,
Or whatever isn't used rolls back to the general fund if it doesn't. So that's how that one works.
yeah,
But Mich-
So you're next. Michelle.
You guys mind if I go ahead and jump in, or do you?
Come here.
You're presenting election and handicap together, but we kind of need you to do it.
What do you want to do, the public defender stuff?
Liz has got a flight out of India at 1:40 something, so need to get her to the.
Nah, come on.
I know, I prefer to stay home, so, you know. Thanks, sir.
He's coming that way, I think.
Oh, here, I just don't, I don't have one.
Here you go. You got it.
we'll just walk that.
All right, I think we'll get it. So for anybody that doesn't know, Josh Stigdon is the chief public defender in the county and handles the budget, which is out of the general fund for the public defender's office.
That is correct. So I have my submission and then I have the approved budget from 2025
It's up here if you want.
and they're the same. So as far as what you can see is what I submitted. The big difference that you'll note is on the salary. There is a $5,000 stipend that the county typically pays for the prosecutor, the elected, the chief deputy, and then the judges and magistrate position. The state, that's supposed to be a part of the pay parity situation. I don't request it, I'm not requesting it, so you can strike the 105, 108 to a 110, 108. As far as.
115, 108 to 110, 108, right?
Exactly.
Sorry.
And then on the professional services, the bulk of our budget comes from contract public defenders. There on the top of the sheet I passed out, you can see our listed contractors right now. So we have those 7, and then myself, we have 8 public defenders. The number beside the name results the caseload size that an individual can have for caseload allocation guidelines from the state. We have to stay in compliance with those guidelines in order to continue to receive reimbursement. So that's the biggest task really on our end, is to make sure that we're not over assigning people that are not qualified. If I assign someone that was not qualified for a certain level of felony, then we would not get reimbursement, for example. The big thing that we do not get reimbursement on, hopefully there's currently a trial run throughout the state of a few counties to get reimbursement on misdemeanors. But other than that, anything that comes through our budget or hits the commissioner's general fund or the court's budget that reflects back on public defender use, we get reimbursed at 40% from the state. So while our budget on the front end, obviously is sizable, 40% each quarter we receive reimbursement that averages around $50,000 a quarter that comes straight back to the general fund. So since 2018, when we re-entered reimbursement, we have received $1,450,687 in reimbursement from the state to our general fund. I am not requesting any changes to our set 2025 budget for 2026. One of the things that we have that's newer within the last few years due to some changes at the state level and federal level is we have a new budget from the Foster Care Title IV fund. So that has accrued now to a balance of about $25,000, just a little over $25,000. That does not, that state, federal money, that does not come through the county's general fund. And we can only use that on specific expenses really related to DCS cases out of Superior Court. This 2025 budget, we had allocated a portion, the 32.5 is what we budgeted, as that grows each quarter as we get reimbursement, to have, if we needed to cover some of the CHIN's expenses. I expect we'll probably use some of that this year, hopefully not a substantial amount, but I would expect to have in the range of 10 to 15,000 starting 2026 in that fund at the least. So that's the 2026 budget submission is on the same numbers as well. So if we were to have a shortage, say if there was a murder trial or something like that, or a large drug bust that resulted in needing multiple public defenders, that would be an area that we could use our conflict counsel budget and then move a CHIN's contract to the title of the foster care budget if needed. So that's all that makes sense.
Yep, I think so. And for me personally, Josh, man, I appreciate what you do there. You always keep it tight as possible. I know it is a big expense, but it's an expense we have to have. And just knowing the shape the county's in and coming in and not, offering up to not take the $5,000 supplement just speaks volumes to your character and what you're willing to do for us. And I want you to know that I appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, anything we can do. We have been compliant, fully compliant now for a little over a year. We had there for a minute after COVID, caseloads were up. So we were borderline non-compliant, but we're always able to stay substantially compliant, which continues our reimbursement. And this past year, we were able to trim contracts. I think we were at 5.7 capacity, which was about a $490,000 hit on the budget. And we were able to trim that down. right now, unless something drastically changed with
Sure.
filings, we should be able to remain compliant with where we're at.
I like it. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Stigdon on that one?
And I appreciate the auditor's office each quarter getting the reimbursement forms. It makes everything easy. And then we do comb through the court's budgets to see if there was a transcript expense or we had a F1 jury trial, and it did have, I think, about $8,000 in transcript expense. That wasn't caught on my budget, but it was paid through circuit court, and we were able to submit that for reimbursement and receive 40% back on that. So it helps getting those forms and having that relationship.
All righty.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
What else do I need to do to get you out of here?
I'm gonna be with Michelle for the election board, so. Another chair for.
Yeah, it's under Coon Cat, but it'll be under the clerk. Clerk. So I'm gonna skip to if you go to clerk, it's the second budget, the county election board.
Gonna do election.
Let's do it and get Josh out of here. We don't want to see him.
On the news.
We're
I have packets for you guys. So with the election budget, went through it. The election is kind of pretty much what we have to do.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you guys have questions. I have some packets for you that's gonna have calendars and stuff. That is kind of giving everybody a heads up of like what absentee board is and the expenses for the absentee board. Like dates and deadlines of like when you have to send out the first ballots and kind of stuff along those lines, just kind of giving you a picture of that. I have the contracts on there, with no ink, microvote election day, our stuff with microvote all through there. That's the vending company that we use to run our election. I will say the Text My Gov, is something that we acquired through the HOTA grant. And it was a 2-year contract. I have reached out to Text My Gov. Our contract goes through January of 26. I put it in there to see if they will do the 2,500 again, but I don't know, so I don't know if they're gonna require that to go up or down, but I just kind of want to get a heads up on that. Any questions?
Is it under contract or?
We signed a 2-year contract with them through the HOTA grant. There was not a HOTA grant this year, so I didn't get to redo that. But it does go to January of 26.
Okay.
I reached out to them to see if they were gonna do, because we got a very low rate, because we were one of the first counties in the state to actually start using Text My Gov. And so we got a very good discount. Several counties now are using it, so I don't really know if we will get the same discounted rate. If we don't get the same discounted rate, I'm not going to renew the contract. So that 2,500 may come off, but I just haven't been able to get with Text My Gov to see what the
Gotcha.
next 2-year contract will look like. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
What questions do you have?
Well, we did something, what was it you was telling me? I had a million things, but is it the absentee thing, the voter board? Is that what's different in
So-
this election moving forward?
So in the past, COVID started this, that the clerk and the election board made a resolution that the clerk and chief deputy could process the ABS absentee applications that came through mail or came in by voters or by third parties. With that, because of COVID and stuff, that resolution was made. It is a yearly resolution that is made. I really want to get back to how it was before COVID, and you can actually have an absentee board that comes in, and it's a bipartisan poll workers. They're called absentee board. That is picked by the two party chairs. So it'd be Dean Wilson and J.R. Ward. They would pick two people to come in, and they would verify and check the absentee applications and make sure that as bipartisan representation, they think the signatures match, they think everything lines up to what the voter registration system says. In the past, like I said, since COVID, the clerk and the chief deputy has done that. That will be putting an extra expense back into the absentee board, and that is the difference of the past budgets to this budget.
So if we're gonna do that, then why does the chief deputy need the overtime in the election if they're gonna be taken out of that process?
Because we still have to make all of the ballots. We still have to do all of the processes other than we have two absentee board members coming in here and checking those signatures.
Gotcha. So we're just wanting to add on to the process we currently have with more people being in here checking them.
We are going back to state statute and state law instead of making a resolution for the clerk to do it.
Okay. And
State statute and state law for election is that there is absentee board that checks the ABS applications. And it has been that way since COVID. And when COVID happened, that's when a resolution was made to have the clerk and
Do it then.
And so I would just have to go back to what state statute says as an absentee board. And a lot of it for the absentee board could depend on how many we have come in. But if we don't use all of the funds, it does revert back to the general fund. So if I don't need absentee board in here every day because we're not getting it, we can do it to where it's, I only need them here twice a week instead of 5 days a week. We will be very cautious and very, mindful.
You can only hold them for so long, right? Once they come in, they have to come in and check them, right?
Once the absentee ballot applications are processed, so that means we bring them in after the first mailing. We get them in before a certain date. We can hold them, and that's on the calendar. That's why I gave you guys the calendar. And there's a Saturday on there where it says the first mailing. We can hold those until that, because we can't mail out those ballots or those applications, the ballots to go out and start until a certain day. We can hold those applications until that day. But once we get to a certain day, once we process an application, we have 24 hours to get that absentee ballot in the mail. So we have the absentee board check the signatures. Once they check the signatures and say, we as a bipartisan team agree that this is a approved application, we as the clerk and the chief deputy take that application, enter it to the system, and then we have 24 hours to get that ballot out.
So if what I'm looking at up here, I had to go back to 24 because obviously there's not an election in 25. So if we pull 24 election, it was around 164.4 was the total appropriation for election. So we're up about $10,000 this time, right?
So a lot of that's going to be your absentee board because it's $50 a day per person to serve.
Who's that set by? The commissioners?
Yes, your commissioner said
Same,
that.
okay.
And then they also receive a $26 a day per diem. And then there is mileage for them going back and forth on that.
All right. I'm just trying to, I know some of these guys have never been through the budgeting
Right, and I
process, so
think I spoke
I
with,
figured pull up 24 is about the closest I
Yeah.
can get
and
realistically.
like I said, it could be that,
And in that, we didn't end up spending 52,000 of the 164. So that year election cost us 112,277 in 24, according to that. So,
In this, with the election budget though, I would rather have over budget because there's not time to come in and get appropriations. It's kind of a situation of, it's a month to a month and a half of chaos.
I'd love to over budget a lot of things, but this county just don't have
It
it.
is not over budgeted a lot in places. Mail has went up, the cost of mail has went up. Cost of supplies have went up, so I did put extras in there because of that.
2,000 there, with each of those went up. Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Does anybody have any questions on the election board side of things, or? Alright,
Nope, okay, moving to
we'll keep
Coon
that one.
Cap. So this is, still election, and I gave you a packet, that is the second page. So it looks like this, got a letter from Microvote. They are no longer doing year-to-year contracts, they're doing 4-year contracts. The cost for a year contract used to be, $13,000, it did go up to $15,000, and from a year contract to a 4-year contract. Within this also too, in the Coon Cap, we're talking about our DREs, which is our direct electronic recording devices, which is what our voters vote on. I presented this last year in the budget meetings, budget hearings, that they no longer make our machines. So parts are gonna start getting really scarce if one breaks, if something happens. They are no longer in production. Microvote has told us this now for 2 years. This will be the 3rd year that I am presenting that we are going to have to buy new machines. Last year we had 4 machines that did require maintenance. So, just to give you a
I don't
heads
know
up.
what the balance is and what the income is.
In
I was
the,
looking.
second page on there is, if you look on the second page that looks like this. This is Microvote's cost
So 48,000.
to replace our machines. They highly, highly, highly encourage that our machines are replaced by 2028 for the next presidential election.
Are they,
So,
are they gonna put out any, like, grants or anything to,
If they do, I will be absolutely applying for that, but that's not.
Right now.
That would be dependent upon the state. That's not Microvote.
Michelle, this year there was a $13,000 additional appropriation for Microvote that hasn't been expended. Will that be expended by the end of the year, or will that revert back to the fund?
Nope, that has been expended. I had to come to you all and get
Well, it's been appropriated, but I don't show that a check's been written out of it. It's not been,
I've already sent in that invoice and everything.
it says unexpended balance 13,000.
What month did we come to you guys for that? That was like in January, so.
It's been a while since you've been in front of the council, so I would say
Yeah.
it's probably been
That
early
was
in the year.
Early in the year.
It just
so
doesn't show expended. I wanted to try to get an idea of what was left in that fund
There's nothing.
and what we
left in that
expect. So there's 0 left in,
I don't know. if we-
there's
And-
131,000.
It was turned, the invoice
right now.
was, the invoice was
that's
turned in.
unappropriated.
I don't know that. That's just what's sitting in it as of right now.
Yeah, I wanted to know what was unappropriated and what we expect to come in that 80, to know if we could even budget that much. So
I
that's
turned in
probably
the
good.
invoice, I could go get the invoice, but it's, I.
So that's with her. These guys have already said, hey, yeah, pay that. It's just not showing on the balance sheet that it's actually been expended. So I was trying to get an idea,
The other
since
risk
it's such an
is
increase in what was already appropriated, what the
Cum-
balance is now. what
Cume
we
cap
have
in this county is
Unappropriated and
how we fund.
what's gonna revert
IT
back
also.
this year.
So
And
that's,
so,
that's Andrew's
60,000.
salary and all that stuff.
So 60,000 will be the contract for Microvote, because like I said, they no longer do a one-year contract.
What was it before, like, cause in
It was-
24, you only spent like 48 out of that whole fund.
So 48 had the yearly contract, and then there was some, like I said, maintenances on the machines. We had to finish, paying off a part of the contract from when we went with Microvote. But we now don't owe on machines. Like the
We
machines
own
are,
them and they're junk.
own them, and they're no longer in production.
Like cell phones now.
Should,
We own them.
or the battery goes dead.
We own them, but
The
they're garbage.
contract used to be 13,000. As of 2026, Microvote did an increase of $2,000, so it's 15,000. And they no longer do one-year contracts, and that's in this letter. They now do four-year contracts. So 2026, we will go into a four-year contract at $15,000, which is 60,000.
One question on that, if that contract's a 4-year contract, we get new machines, that'll still be the same contract on that machine?
Yes,
Okay.
the machines we own, we purchase.
I'm saying we get new ones, that'll still be the same contract? for
Yes,
new
the
machines?
contract is the same for their,
Well, I hate to do a 4-year contract to get new
Yeah.
machines, I'd have to get a different contract from somebody else.
So the 4-year contract, do we have to pay the full 4? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Up front?
that's what they're saying, they're not doing a year contract.
So we can't,
60,000 for a 4-year.
You're prepaying for 4 years, or basically.
and then in
They're
the
consumer based.
county election board, when you have that, I don't ever know how to say it, but it's no ink or whatever.
no ink, so that is so we have Microvote, which is our machines that we vote on, which is our DREs. No ink is your poll pads, which is your electronic poll books.
So it's in the budget for election general, but then in 24, we paid it out of Cume cap. So which does it belong in?
It goes in general. It comes out of
Looks
general.
like $21,000 came out in 24. That's what was spent. Cume cap 2024,
That comes out of general.
micro vote 13,000, 2 micro votes for 8,000-ish, and the no ink for 21,000 is what.
I don't think cash balance goes
No ink
negative.
is general. I mean, you can put it in, and I could have it could have been a mistake. It could have been anything, but it normally comes
Comes
out
out
of
of general.
the
Okay.
election budget.
Gotcha.
And that yearly contract they gave an estimate of the yearly contract, which I put in that first packet that has the calendars. The estimate is $4,550 for the next year. We did purchase new poll pads last year. Our poll pads in 2024 no longer updated. And so we had to purchase, which actually might be what is
I'm looking at this.
go
year.
out of the coon cap that came out.
Yeah.
That might be the purchase of the new poll pads, because we had to update those because they no longer updated. It's an iPad, and once they get so old, they no longer take the updates. And so we had to do that in the last year because we knew that updates would no longer be able to be put on
Yeah.
the old ones. So that
What's
21,
the Cushing system? Is that you guys?
the 21,000 no ink income cap may be the purchase of the new machines, because they were right around 20-something thousand.
What's the Cushing systems?
Is that you?
Is that you?
Out of Cume cap in March?
I have no clue what that is.
I think that might be a software system. That's the one that I was asking you about the other night before the meeting. Because we've got another one of those right now. We're trying to figure out where that gets paid from.
Yeah, I
That
don't,
probably is. You're right. I think that's Andrew paid it, which is Cume cap
Yeah.
also.
yeah, that's
Sorry.
right.
Okay.
So the 21 is probably the actual purchasing of the new poll pads.
Yeah.
And we're good on that for several
A while.
years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we did have to update those.
This is
they
because I'm
could
running
not-
2 years without income.
Oh, okay.
It's my fault on that one.
Don't do that to you. Fix me.
No, you're fine. I'm looking at 2 years without adding income.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Here,
can you do the income so you can get an idea
that's what I'm
of
looking at.
what,
Because previous is about 286-ish.
so it would take pretty much all the income for the year to pay the 4-year contract and buy the new DREs.
Which,
So the new DREs have to be done by 2028, right?
They need to be in place by January 1 of 2028 for the election.
But they do allow payment.
I was gonna say, do they allow payment
Yes,
like we
they
could
Yeah,
do,
you could do like a payment contract or whatever.
like half and half or something?
Well, they have one that's a little bit more favorable. It's on that.
Is it on this microvote?
113, the front year.
Oh.
It's on the microvote letter.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
is it on,
I'll
okay.
let it.
So the new panels are $2,800 each, and the balance paid in 26.
Yeah.
Just 112.
So there's,
and then-
yeah, there's payment options. in
Oh,
that.
okay, here we go. And that would be for the machine, not for
The contract.
contract.
The contract, it's-
60,000 gonna have to come out,
that's-
period, right?
that's a whole different situation.
But-
It's the machines.
You could do a big payment in 26, a smaller payment in 27, or do a big payment in 26 and one smaller payment in 27 and 28. But herein lies the issue, you gotta remember to budget that and request to remember.
Right,
to
and like I
budget that.
said, we knew that this was coming up. This will be the third years. This is the third year that I've known about the machines are gonna have to be updated. This is the second year of presenting actually in the budget hearings of, hey, just keeping this in the forefront. We are going to have to, and like I said, last year we had machines that had to be repaired.
But if we would have put something in there last year, it would have even made the payment in 26, 27, 28 probably smaller.
Yeah.
Or 26, 27.
Um,
Yeah, 28 has all.
And the machines, as long as, if we could keep getting machines, the machines work fine. But it's the fact that they're no longer in production, and when they start tearing up, we can't replace the parts. Kind of just stinks, I know.
It's the same position we were in when we went to microvote. So our provider at that point in time went out and we had to get the machine. So had the pleasure of doing that then. It is a
And I
huge
will,
upfront expense.
I will say Microvote is a phenomenal company. Anytime you call them, they are there, the support that they give to the county,
Yeah,
the professional quality, they're just phenomenal company to work with. They're the oldest voting system company in the nation.
they have the most counties in Indiana too. I mean, it's kind of the outfit you want to be with. And when we priced it out before with, what would that have been now? 8 years ago, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
Microvote was by far the cheapest, best, all around option. So,
But like I said, just trying to keep it in the.
Yeah, I think it's, definitely something we have to look at, not whether we want to or not, but I'll be honest with you, we can't spend 246 out of that account next year because that's not possible.
Like I say, just keep it in the forefront.
It'd be something we talk about, and if we go with the payment plan, we'll obviously have to present to the commissioners, get them to agree into which plan they would like to do, enter into a contract, and then we can set funding for that contract type,
So I will be
Scenario.
going to the commissioners sometime this year to
talk about it.
talk about the contract of like how they want to.
Right, which way would be better?
You also said they gotta be, January of 28. How soon you gotta order to have them here by January the 28th?
Probably mid-27.
It takes.
You gotta fund it in 27 no matter what.
So, yeah, okay.
But just giving you guys
Right.
being upfront, it's a lot. I get that.
Yeah.
But we have to have it, so.
But exactly, you ain't got much choice, so.
Yep.
All right,
Any questions on election of CAP?
if I got anything they need on that?
You had asked earlier, I think it was the microphone, correct, where that's paid from?
Yeah.
That would have been out of the county election board, out of CAP County Election Board. It came from 1138, account number 37702, location 0062.
Isn't that nice?
On the election, some people may not know, there is one that says rent/box truck.
No, yeah, I'm listening to you.
That is because these machines are now so large, they don't fit in poll workers' cars anymore. And it is just easier to rent a big box truck and take them all together and pick them all up together. I did lower
Won't
that.
even do that.
I had last year, I think, 24, I had $1,000. I lowered that because it didn't take $1,000 to rent a box truck. So I did lower that part of that budget, but
Will
And
the
they,
new,
we don't have
the
a
new ones,
system
will they
that
fit?
delivers those for us or anything. The
No,
company
she
we
stores
use.
them.
we store, I mean, I could do that, but it's gonna be more than
Yeah,
$500.
Are the new ones, are they smaller?
It's, no, it'll still be in the same
Same
places.
case.
It'll still be in those, yes, because the state now requires that the BB pads are with, all of the roads. And so it's still the same case.
Sorry, my computer is completely,
Dead.
won't do, no, it's up, it just won't do anything.
Make sure you get one for
I know, right?
it.
Yeah, send the work order while we're in the
and I
middle
said,
of all
we
this.
just appropriated
She's like-
$12 million for a place
She's
like
like, can you just control the list?
And it's-
Yeah, you can, but it don't work either. This must have been built on a Friday or something, I don't know.
Yeah. But he buy the same, he said he buy the same thing as these were.
I mean, it's a nice
Like he
computer
can't
when
even
it works.
control on the
You
lead.
can't do anything, it's literally just dead. So,
It's not dead, you can see the
yeah, I mean,
screen,
it's on.
but.
What else do we need to do to get?
If there's no other questions
Andrew right
for,
there.
Andrew,
Come here.
Andrew.
sorry. Sometimes I gotta use my lawyer voice.
Walk down the hallway.
any other questions for election board?
Hey, Andrew,
I think Michelle might have just peed her pants a little bit.
it's completely, it's locked up, I can't do anything.
Not even a control on the lead.
Slide it over.
That's another, pass it on down. That's another 240.
Thanks, Josh, good
All
luck.
right, Josh.
Thank y'all.
Tell Liz, be safe.
Absolutely, you got something going.
Don't go far, Andrew.
All right. That went well.
At least it's not the one that's for the.
Yeah, at least it ain't that one, I guess.
Where are we going next?
Where are we going now? Your general
Let's go
fund?
to clerk general. I would just like for, I think maybe not everybody, I would just like to introduce, this is my new chief deputy, Hannah Dickerson. I know JR's mayor, he's in the interview process, but, she took the place of Missy. Missy was given a really good opportunity, making a lot more money and, accepted a job outside of government. And so we were super sad to see her go, but I am super excited to have Hannah. She's been phenomenal and amazing, but just so everybody can meet her, this is Hannah Dickerson. our new
Nice
chief
meeting you
deputy.
again.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay, clerk
Now.
election, or clerk general. We have all of our just normal, elected chief deputy, second deputies, bookkeepers, longevity, and part-time staff. I have added to the general fund this year, a clerk attorney contract. The letter is in that with you all. I gave that letter to you. Office supplies, I did go up this year. Like I said, office supplies have went up. We are doing the best that we can to be very diligent on that. I shop around a lot, making sure that I'm getting the best prices. But things are just costing more. I have spoke to, I think,
Did you fix it?
4 or 5 of you as council members. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I've spoke to 4 or 5 of you. There are some things in the office that are literally breaking. I'm gonna have to purchase, some new filing cabinets. They are now liabilities in my office. Either they smash fingers, cut.
Well, you have that in your budget. for
Yes, that's
25.
this year, but that is all purchased with office supplies, and there are gonna be some things that need to be updated. Like I said, I've had filing cabinets, drawers smash my fingers, cut my fingers, one of them thing drops on our heads. So we've gotta replace some things, and like I said, office supplies are going up. Postage for the office has went up. I put an extra 6,000 in postage. The judge has requested that instead of us doing jury notices served by the sheriff's department, he has requested that we start doing our jury notices by certified mail. With that being said, I have to have funds to cover that. So postage was $15,000, and I put an extra 6, because the way I did it is normally we have anywhere from 150 to 200 jury pool. And the average is 3 to 4 jury pools. So it's like $9.82, so I just rounded up to 10. And did all the math, and so for 4 jury pools at 150 juries, our jury members at $10, we're looking at $6,000. So that is
So
the extra $6,000
we have
on
a-
the postage.
In the judge's group of budgets he has for jury, like where we do meals and things like that, could we not put postage in that and then he pay for whatever the excess is? And then if we don't have a jury, that whole fund reverts back to general.
This all reverts back to general too if it's not spent.
I
I
mean,
will tell you
wouldn't that
why-
make more
I will
sense to
tell
keep
you-
track of it by if it's for a jury? I mean, if he's ordering it,
That's up to you all. I will tell you right now, my postage budget in the general is gone. And I will be taking my election postage and depositing that probably by the end of the year. We go through mail. The average, we have anywhere from 100 to more pieces of mail a day. We go through mail.
what can we do to improve that? How do we make that better? Is there things we can do, or, I mean, I don't know.
So what goes out in the mail for us is notices for court, election documentation. So, no.
No.
It is stuff that has to be mailed. And some of it has to be certified mail. And so when we certify mail it,
Do you know the code that requires it to be served by certified mail? The jury summons. I can't find anywhere, and I know other counties do not do certified mail or sheriff service. That's why I was a little confused when Sheriff Gooden said that, he had all this overtime because he had to serve jury. And when I talked to Judge Mount,
I do not know if there's an IC code. I'm just going off of what
I'll
my
talk to
judge,
Judge about it,
what my
but
judge has asked me to do.
I looked at the code, it just says it must be mailed, the jury questionnaire, and if they fail to appear after they're summoned,
I
it
don't,
doesn't say how summons
I
would be
actually do
done.
not look. I just am following what my judge has asked
Gotcha.
me to do.
In the
Well, you're usually pretty good about knowing that stuff, so I
Yeah.
thought I.
the office supplies, I got that kind of pulled up. Looks like we've spent about $6,000 in office supplies, or you got 13. I know you said you got to buy some, what are they called, filing cabinets out of that. But going up to 20, if we're not buying filing cabinets next year, what would be the excess from that? Or could we save some money there and put it into your postage?
That's going to be your call. Papers went up, office supplies have went up.
I'm not saying they haven't. I'm just saying we're 8 months into the year and we've spent $6,000. You told us you got to buy some cabinets, which I understand.
Yep.
But if we don't buy cabinets next year, we're more than halfway through. That would only put us at roughly 12,000, not counting cabinets. And we got 20 there. So if we drop that to 15 and went 5,000 more in
So,
postage,
so.
I'm just trying to get to the
No,
point of
no,
the
I see,
bottom
okay, I see.
line
So with
is going to have to
that,
stay the same or be less in
with-
26.
okay, I see, yes. So I accommodated for doing the jury the polls.
Mhm.
And that is envelopes, that is letterhead, that is all of that that's going out. That is extra cost.
Yeah.
Envelopes are not cheap. It's along those lines. The cost has went for the office supplies because of the jury situation.
Gotcha.
Because normally we don't put them in envelopes, we just print off the paper and we take them over to the sheriff's department. But with that, if we're gonna be certified mailing them, we have to do
Do
that.
something different.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's something maybe we can look at.
And I will say, I try to be very, very diligent and a good steward.
Yeah.
With that, And if we don't spend it, and I have always returned to office supplies.
Well, and I agree with you. I mean, up here it says postage, the 15's gone. So I guess that's why my question was, could we make office supplies 15 and postage 20? And maybe that would offset some of this. Then if we move the jury stuff to the judge,
Yeah, I mean,
then maybe that would accommodate your shortfall there. Cause I mean, we don't have to buy filing cabinets every year, so
No,
that would,
No, the filing cabinets that I'm trying to replace, I think were bought in,
forever ago.
There's probably.
You said they were $1,200 piece.
yeah,
So you're looking at $3,900 for 3 of them.
So, I mean, does that sound fair to everybody and give her a little bit of wiggle room? If she's already in August used up her 15,000 in postage, she's obviously running through it, so.
and
got it.
I will say that, and I haven't touched the election postage yet, even though we have used
Stuff
a
for
lot
that.
of stuff for election because we've had voter registration go out and stuff. But I'm going to have to start depositing election into the postage because
Gotcha.
we have went through general.
That's, everything else is pretty much staying the same. Let's see, travel stays the same.
And we've used travel, we have several conferences.
Yeah, that's all the same. Book findings, so I think that'd be a small change we can make on the budget.
I will say that there's a couple things on here that I keep in the budget that haven't used and have reverted back. So the bookbinding by voice, it's $1,000. We have, if you've ever been in the clerk's office, there's all
All
kinds
the
of
big books.
the big books. I've not used that in several years. But if one of those books do break, or one of those books, we have to repair that. So yes, that could be not given.
Yeah,
Other
then
one is
you have to come and ask.
microfilm. I haven't used that in a while either, but the problem with the microfilm is if it breaks, I gotta get it fixed immediately because we do a lot of record research on microfilm. And so even though it hasn't been used in several years because it hasn't broke or anything like that, if it does break, I won't have time to come in here and wait for, every month.
Get it set.
Yeah, so, but the book binding probably could be, but if it does break, if one tears up or one happens, I'm gonna be coming in here and saying, hey, I need this money. To
On
fix that.
a different note, James, you asked me earlier about what it looks like for a transfer.
Mhm.
See under part-time up there, where that $9,254 is under adjusted appropriation. That means that $9,254 is transferred out of part-time to
Gotcha.
either
Yep, so
1554 went to, looks like chief deputy, and $50 was moved here. Like, that's how it looks on a budget, if you
So,
guys see
yes.
it.
So what happened with that is in the 2025 year, my election board portion for being the secretary was not appropriated in the 2025 year. And instead of coming to the council and asking for an additional appropriation, JR and I worked together and realized that the part-time position, we could transfer out of that so that there was no extra appropriations done for the budget.
So,
Or money coming out. And
which I
then,
know he just asked,
Yeah.
what's it look like? And so everybody knows that's what it looks like when we transfer money. Even if we do it as a vote, I think it still shows up the same way, doesn't it? So if you're looking at them and if it's in a quotations, it's either, or in parentheses, it's, either money has been transferred, or if it's over on the total lines and it's in parentheses, that means a line that's run negative. So
and
that's
then
how
the rest of that, part-time was to give my new chief deputy 2 weeks training with the old chief deputy. And then the $50 was to cover herself.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I
No, you're good.
just seen that and remembered he had asked a question, so it was a good time to show it.
So I will say that those two, the back to the bookbinding and the microfilm, they haven't been used. The bookbinding probably could be cut. I don't want the line item to go away in case something does happen. the microfilm, I would hate to cut that in case something did tear it. We couldn't go a month trying to get additional appropriations.
What about your maintenance contracts? Is that something that comes out later, or you have to do any of that as well? Or is that through the copier or something?
So contract service, M&M is our copiers. The shred is our shred box in there. And I will say that the clerk office is responsible for doing all of the shredding for the clerk's office and the 2 courts. So that takes care of the courts and my offices that we have to shred. The Quadient is the actual mail machine that we have in our office. That is the contract for that. And then, like I said, the Crawley is the microphone.
Anybody got anything else on the general affairs? You got one more, I think, is their perpetuation fund.
Yep, perpetuation is my last one.
And 25, we used it for 18,200 as one of the second deputy positions was what was funded there, I think. And it's all still sitting there.
Yes,
So that's the one we didn't hire right yet.
Yeah.
So
well, we didn't get the Hobbit, there was no
the
Hobbit
Hobbit
grant.
grant, that was the match,
It was
wasn't it? Or
It
whatever.
was to combine, we appropriated that to combine, we thought that there would be a Hobbit grant.
Yeah, that's right.
There was not a Hobbit grant, so.
What's the thoughts for it in 26?
So perpetuation is a specific fund for the clerk's office. It is designated funds that have to be spent for preserving records. We have lots of records that we are trying to get scanned in. It is a digital lookup instead of us having to go through, I don't know if anybody's been over here in this room that's behind community corrections that has so many court files from the clerk's office and from the courts. We have to go over there and look for stuff because cases do tie into each other. And so as the clerk's office, we are constantly looking in old files, digging stuff out and stuff along those lines. Perpetuation is a fund for preservation of records. I have been in contact with the State Board of Accounts, trying to figure out a way that we could get these records preserved digitally in a way that we have it easily accessible to the courts and to ourselves. And I came up with the idea of a stipend for staff. Instead of having a full-time staff member to where we have to pay benefits and we have to pay FICA and all of that, I talked to the State Board of Accounts and doing a perpetuation stipend for the clerk's office. This would be broke down. You guys have the internal controls of how it would happen and everything in your packet. The average funds that we bring in through perpetuation is right around $13,000 a year, give or take. I went all the way back from 2015 to 2025 and figured out what our income for perpetuation was every year. And then I divided it by 10 and kind of got that average, which is about $13,476. What I'm asking for to appropriate is $12,043.20. Now, I am sitting on a starting point of a little under $70,000.
58,377.
Did that have the, I don't know if that has the current deposits in it. Because we had for July and we'll have for August.
I don't know that.
It should show.
They don't show anything in it other than expenditure of 9,451.55.
There should not have been any expenditures this year.
But all I'm showing is 58,377.75 according to WOW. I can go back, let's check it, make sure I did this right.
Okay, so it's 60,000, we're still a hair under 60,000. I don't know if July and August, I know
Cash
August
ledger,
has not been
Clerk
deposited.
perpetuation, move all these over.
But with that,
These over.
so we're sitting on a cash of right around $60,000. Like I said, we
You're
brought
right.
in,
Never mind, I did it wrong. There you go.
Okay.
She's saying there shouldn't be an expenditure, and there is.
That's prior to 1/1 of 25, so it would have been the end of last year. Something happened in there, we took some out,
gotcha.
but 67,971, you're right.
Okay, so
Sorry, that
just
was my fault.
a hair under 70,000. Like I said, we will deposit for August through the rest of the year. So that is our starting balance of this. Like I said, we bring in about 13,000 some odd dollars a year for perpetuation. I'm asking to do a perpetuation stipend for my staff, to start preserving these records. That would be outside. We could use this money to pay a company to come in and take all the files, all of the records, and them scan them all in, then get them all digitalized for us. Several counties have been doing that. And the average is anywhere from 70, 80, 90, depending on how many records you have. My thought is, if my staff, and I've talked to my staff about this, they're willing to work through lunch. This is a volunteer process that they could do. They could work through their lunch, and they could do up to 3 hours, a pay period throughout the year. And we will have a digital time clock that shows the State Board of Accounts to exactly of what is regular hours, what is perpetuation hours. State Board of Accounts said that we had to make sure that we could distinguish the two. We have done all of that. Like I said, the whole proposal is in there with you guys. I have the internal controls.
Jennifer, did you check with Mr. Wilder to make sure? I thought there was an issue with working through lunch. I thought they had to have. I just want to check. with Mr.
So
Wilder
State
about
Board of Accounts says as long as they are volunteering to do it,
it. Mm.
that if they want to do
I would
that,
probably check with your attorney though.
that would be a perpetuation fund that they could do if they wanted to do it that way.
I don't have any issue with the
Yeah.
perpetuation fund doing that. What I'm asking you is if you checked with your attorney that it's legal for us to allow them, you said they were going to work through their lunch. I don't know that that's allowable under the law, but I haven't researched it, so I might ask your attorney because they're
So
having
State Board of
issues.
Accounts said to reach out to the commissioner's attorney, and we are working with.
Was Zach to make sure that they
Yes.
can?
Yes.
Okay, oh, and attorney,
Yeah,
a
yes.
qualified attorney.
Yes,
Not me.
We are going to go to the commissioners and have the internal controls approve. His thought, he said, it looks like everything is set, so.
Okay.
I'm just-
As long as there's no
Yes.
federal wage and hour or state wage and hour laws that are going to be
Yeah. I'm
going to be violated by someone working through their lunch. I don't have a problem with the pay coming out of that fund or anything else.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
strictly
working-
wage and hour stuff.
I have sent that to the president of the commissioners and his attorney, and their attorney, and working on that with them to do that. So, but that's what this is for. It's the average of
$505.40 each.
It is an average of 3 hours
3 hours a week.
a week. It is not, if they don't do it that pay period, they can't go back and make it up on the next week. It is a completely volunteer
Do it or
situation.
not.
We
But
have,
if you're paying them a stipend instead of hourly for that, then how does that?
so State Board of Accounts says that we have to be able to break it down to where the staff right now makes, $19.30 an hour.
Mhm.
And if you do that 0.5, it averages out to 28. They said that you have to be able to distinguish the funds that are going to it to an hourly rate is how they.
I get that, but if we budget it at, right, as an hourly rate, but you're budgeting it as a stipend, are you going to pay them hourly though? So somebody doesn't choose to do it, they're not gonna get,
No, they do not.
or they choose to do it part of the time, they're only gonna get part of that
Yes,
stipend.
they
Okay.
only get a portion of it.
So on the salary ordinance, it'll be a stipend, but it'll have an hourly rate.
Yes.
Okay.
The
And-
only other thing's the 5,000 equipment and that.
So equipment is, I put that in there because equipment is the scanners that we have to use. I've had to buy 2 of them.
For this same process.
Yes, I've had to replace 2 of them in the office. And I just actually use the office funds to do that, but really it should be used out of perpetuation. So I did appropriate 5,000 for just in case. If it's not used, it's not used.
Gotcha.
But I do have the clerk, the internal controls in there of what we would do. I have an example of what the time clock would look like, to have that distinct set. And then I have what the State Board of Accounts has said, our interactions with the State Board of Accounts and their approval of it. So that is what I'm proposing for my perpetuation.
Does anybody have any questions for the perpetuation budget? I think she explained it pretty well. So, all right, well, we're gonna run through talking to everybody and then
Yep.
probably divvy these out, talk to them, figure it out, what we're gonna do amongst ourselves, and we will let you know.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you all.
See you, thank you.
You guys have a good one.
Who's up next, do we know?
Business commission.
No. Hey, so I'll send this out too, but this up on the screen is the email that I got from Paige, and I'll copy you in it too if you want. You got it now. But this breaks down all of our expected revenue for 26. And as you can see, I mean, just in the general fund alone, we're, $500,000 short going into 26. So a lot of things stayed, but about every one of them's a little bit short of what it was. You can come on up if you want, Mr. Wakeman.
We get a copy of that, Joe.
I'm gonna email it to everybody.
Oh, okay.
So
How
I
are
just
you?
got it from Paige and
Good deal.
I'll send it out.
At what point are we gonna sit down and work on these, wish lists?
Well, we're gonna have to get through everybody's wish list and then I think we're gonna have to do that either.
We're only scheduled half day.
Yeah. That's the only way I know to do it instead of taking all day to sit here and go through them. How's Mr. Wakeman?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good, sir.
Good.
All right. Veterans.
I got to click it.
I hope you'll find this fairly straightforward.
Keep going. All righty, sir.
Many of the things are identical in this budget as they were in the last budget. One thing we have changed is instead of having a $250 community, a $250,000 community outreach category, we split it up. We've started a billboard grant where we'll offer up to $250 a month to someone who takes out a billboard. But it has to be somewhat reflective of visitors coming
Coming
into
here.
the community, and not just Scottsburg, but the whole community. That's a copy of the application for that. We also have we call it a county storefront improvement program, which is basically an effort to help business owners if they're so inclined to maybe spruce up the front of their building.
Does that help the county?
Does it help the county? I don't know, but it might.
Talk to him.
I mean,
All right.
you might encourage people to move into the community. If
Yeah,
it's,
it looks better.
looking halfway respectable, yeah. And those are separate items on the other services.
Yeah.
The billboard, and then the 75,000, that's just for the community outreach, which is events and other community things that might come up. On the second page, there's $100,000 for capital projects. So instead, that sort of puts the four things towards the $250,000 that was allocated last year. But the 100,000 is for there is nothing specific right now but we want to be in a position where we can actually do something to help with a project that might be viable for the county, whether it's putting up an amphitheater or whatever it is.
Mhm.
We just would like to know that the funds are available to help either pay for it completely or to be a participant with some other agency that might be wanting to put a visitor-oriented activity into the community, more permanent, not just like, here's an event, it's today and tomorrow, and it's gone for a year or whatever. Something that's gonna be permanently in the community. That's the reasoning behind that. As I say, other than that, the majority of things are just
about the same.
identical from last year. You know, the office supplies, travel, telephone, advertising, all
Hey.
those things are,
Has your board seen your budget already?
yes, sir.
And they're good with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you guys, I know we talked, I think last year, about the rent. Is there still talk of maybe moving you into a county building and you guys not having to pay rent anymore, or?
As far as I am, there has been no conversation in that regard whatsoever.
Whatsoever?
I do think, however, that it would make sense if you did that.
Right, because I mean, you're spending $3,600 a year out of your all budget for rental of a building when we have office space
Precisely.
available right now that's open. And I don't think you don't really use the office like someone there manning it most of the times. I think it's more of the phone, and you do a lot of your stuff outreach, right?
That's very true, but I think also being in a county building, that automatically brings more people in.
Yeah.
So then you can get your message out to more people.
Sure.
So it actually makes quite good sense, I think.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can work on that again in the upcoming year. Find you a new place to call home and not cost you guys 3,600 isn't bad really over a year's rent, but it's that much more that you could benefit something else, I think.
Sure.
And since we're telling you you're a county department, we ought to provide you with some space to be, I think.
If there are any questions you might have, I'll be happy to answer them, but,
I think you're doing an amazing job, and I see you out and about everywhere, and I appreciate all of your efforts. The one thing we've said is we're gonna talk to everybody, and then we're gonna all meet. Yours is a little bit different because you have a board that you answer to, and a lot of it, if they've approved it and they're good with it, your funds are kind of self-generated, so therefore, in years past, we've always approved your budget as the board has requested. So, I would hope that would be the same, but we'll put it to a vote here
For sure,
at some point, and if something changes, we'll let you know, or if we have questions that arise, we can get with you.
yeah, anytime.
I mean, but I appreciate your willingness for us, and I think you're doing good things.
Well, thank you.
Anything you need from us, other than a budget?
Not at this moment, but that might change.
Well, if it does, you let us know. Yep. Thank you.
No, anytime anybody has any questions, do not hesitate, okay?
And same here. If you need us, feel free anytime to let us know.
I think you said your next meeting is September 12th,
I'm pretty sure that's what it is, yes.
10 a.m.
Yes. Yes. You don't all need to come.
Fill the room.
I get it.
Fill the room.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one, Chris.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Well, I think in the downtime, we got a few minutes, kind of, you want to take a quick break to restroom or anything we can? We got 10 or so minutes.
I'm out. Go ahead, John. We'd like to get an agenda here as soon as possible.
I don't know. We can try.
It's kind of.
So we took a little bathroom break. We're back on at 10:30, welcoming our Veterans Affairs Director, Mr. Shelton. It's awesome to see you and we look forward to working with you. And this will be your first time going through a budget,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
absolutely.
anything you need in that process, we're here for you. Generally, what we do is just you kind of explain what you're looking for in the year coming. Up on the board, I've got your current, that department's 2025 budget that was approved. And what we do is just trying to compare numbers and obviously keep as close as we can to what we was there with and see how we can move forward. So with that, I will let you go.
So I have tried to keep kind of based on some recommendations coming into this year's budget, keep it as close to what last year's was with just considering maybe a 10% increase for salaries. The only thing I think I did raise was the office supplies, the 21,000 line item. One of the big printer that we have is the printer fax machine. I think that the toner itself is right around $1,000 for that. But everything else I try to keep on what was approved for last year. But the other thing that I did inadvertently leave off was when I first sent it to Kinley was the DAV cell phone. We have the driver that drives for us, and that was an allocated item last year, and so I had to kind of send a new kind of updated estimate for this year. But other than that, I tried to keep it as close to the approved amount.
I actually think in years past, that has been the director's phone stipend, hasn't it?
So she did have.
I think they do, yeah.
I think that's what it was used for, because most all other directors in the county
Right.
have gone to the commissioners and got approved, and they get a phone stipend that's $50 a month.
Yes.
Right.
So
So she had one on here, the CVSO cell phone stipend, and I didn't include that.
okay,
I didn't really see a need for it personally, but I did want to keep the DAV cell phone on there.
okay, yep. Nope.
For that purpose, but
I appreciate it. I just wanted to make sure that
yes.
you knew. And so how salaries work are gonna work. We had the auditor ask to do the 10% increase because the way, and I'm gonna explain budgeting the best I can and not try to, whatever you know about, I'm not trying to belittle it. But we have to advertise early in the year, and whatever we advertise is the max ceiling that this council could go to.
Right.
We can go down, but we can't go up from the advertising. So we generally ask for that to be advertised higher and then give us some leeway to be able to do something there if possible. So for the most part, today we'll look at most of your lines, which you've explained through, and I'm good with personally. And then as a group later, in the coming week or so, we'll all get together and decide what we're gonna do with salaries, and then that's how that'll play out. But
Absolutely.
does anybody have any questions for Mr. Schultz?
Jonathan, the memorial flag, that's the flag we put on the stones, cemetery stones.
I believe Denise was extremely thorough. I've got binders and folders of all these. I've been trying to go through, along with trying to do the rest of the things that.
From budget years past, that's what she used that for.
Yes, so I think that's what that is.
Well, the reason I'm asking is it wouldn't have nothing to do with you, but last year at the Legion, they told me they didn't get the money for flags this year, and they act like we had turned them down. I said, I don't think so. And I checked with her, and I don't think anybody ever came in.
Okay.
So I thought that's what that was for. And they paid it out of their own. apparently. I don't know if you have 800 left over from last year or not. No big deal, just.
Absolutely. I will certainly check on that. I don't know if that was, when was that?
Memorial Day, right?
Memorial Day?
Of this year?
Yeah.
I don't think it was, because there's been nothing expended from that line.
Well, for some reason, they thought, I don't know why they thought that, but I checked with you,
So-
we said, no, nobody did.
On the
So I
actual,
asked them to let me know, and I'll make sure to get things. Do I?
on the actual budget form, it says flags for war memorial. So is that the one here?
I thought maybe they were here, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. There's $800 in there right now that hasn't been used. So if,
That's probably.
as you being the director, however you choose to use that for flags, I think would be appropriate.
Well, let me ask this a question, the board. I know we're getting a little out of all the line here, but if they pay for that, could they be reimbursed for it?
Who's that? The veterans?
Yeah,
I mean, I think
I would think so. Yeah.
that would be up to him, I would think.
Yeah.
As
yeah,
long
I
as
agree.
he's,
I'm just-
as long as he's using that line item to purchase flags for,
Yeah, if
you
there's
know,
800 ain't been
veterans,
spent, it
that's-
has not been spent.
that's entirely, because it's been approved, it's in his budget, so.
Yeah.
As long as it meets the requirement of buying flags, I think that's
That's what I
Right,
think.
especially if that's what they,
Mr. Schultz.
it was done before, and it was maybe just overlooked with the transition or, however that happened.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know how much a flag is, but the ones out here, I
I
can't
know in
imagine
the past-
spending $800 on
I know in the past the county paid for it, and I didn't know, but something you did, but it looks like it's out of that fund right
So
there.
you-
Okay.
That's
Thank you.
kind of, I don't know if you have that, but that's like where your budget's sitting right now. That one's not been touched. Postage is $400. It's not been used. Training and seminars, you have 1,000. That's not been used. That cell phone, 600, not been used. 500 in dues and subscription and 500 in software that's not been moved. And then, if you need to move money around within that, you know, you can get with Jennifer and we can help you through that. So you've got roughly $26,580 right now,
Right.
according to Lau, that you're working with in 25. And then I think your 26 is pretty on point with where you need to be.
Yeah, I have, I know there's gonna be some things, especially with the new, the Lao system.
Yeah.
I'll probably need some help with that. And I know we need some, certainly need some updates at the office, with supplies and, so it has been that transition and, especially, I do want to make note, Tom Miller as the assistant has put in his resignation.
Yeah, I heard that.
And I know it's been on probably record before, but we desperately would love to have another full-time. I know it's not necessarily in the budget. We would love to see that, you know, in the future if we possibly could, just because of the need there. I had really no idea what that job was until I got in there. And now it's like, wow. I mean, I'm still, you know, almost 3 months into it, and not fully accredited yet. And so I still can't fully serve our veterans to the best ability yet. It just takes that long to get accredited in the process. And so, especially with him leaving, it's going to be another difficult transition, you know, getting somebody else certified and hired and all that as well.
Are you hearing anything from the state, or they come, because I mean, I'm just talking about, when I talked to Denise last time, she thought the state was gonna come in and a lot more mandates. Is that, you hearing that? or-
Yeah, there's a state bill now that's being passed.
Yeah.
That's going to have a lot of accountability. That's going to be through the state auditor. That's going to be able to be tracked, you know, through every CVSO.
Well, I just had the opinion, and she didn't actually say this, but they were gonna come down and start more like, this is what you're gonna do, county. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna, yeah, good or bad, I mean, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, I think, helpful in the sense where, I mean, it's gonna be able to demonstrate, what we're doing, tracking exactly everything we're doing in the office, and how many veterans we're serving, and, now, we have the ability to show that now, through, the state, the Indiana.gov, but it'll be more of a report to the county, that the state can provide, but.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing.
So for me, Jonathan, I don't leave a lot to wonder what I'm thinking, so I'll tell you what I think about the full-time. I would like to see you get certified, get the office in order the way you want to run, and you're rolling, and then let's talk about it, and let's see if we can find a way to make that happen for us. But until then, I just, my personal opinion, and obviously it goes to a vote, I'm 1 of 7, but we would hire somebody else, then you got more people that we got to train, and I think, from a leadership point, you get it going, get it running, and I'm not saying no, I'm just saying let's pause that, get you rolling, and then let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair?
Absolutely.
Okay. Anybody else got anything, or no? All right, anything you need from us? And on the training for Lau, I talked to Andrew this morning because I actually still have some questions about it. He's gonna check. He thinks they offer an annual where they'll come here and put on a training. And if so, I'd like to get that scheduled, and whoever wants to join, we'll put something out, and whoever wants to come in and learn, do it. We'll put it up there on that thing and see what we all can learn together. In the meantime, if you need something, I know enough to be dangerous, but I'm off on Fridays, and I'm willing to come out there and help you or show you what I know about it.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, Johnny can lock up your computer where you can't use it at all. But no, I think we all want to see you succeed, and we'll do whatever we can to help you with that.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And Kim has been extremely helpful with the initial training.
Yeah, she's good on it too.
I know she'll be invaluable as well. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
All
John in the group.
I know, I had more Johns.
John,
John.
Justin, James.
Now we got to be in.
You just get Andrew on your speed dial before you ask me for help.
Right.
Hey, thank you guys very much.
I don't know, but
Thank you,
there's a
sir.
schedule that I'm staying with.
All back to these. Hey, this is what
I mean, they have a budget. Ben, you're up, man. Hey, you do that and I'll find what I'm looking for. How's that?
Well, there goes your money. Next.
Kenley, why are the commissioners not on this section? Did they not ask you?
He's done this traditionally.
How much time do you think you need, Randy? I'm gonna try to squeeze you in some point.
2 minutes.
Okay, let's see if we can get,
Give him 2 minutes.
I think Ben's pretty easy. You wanna try to squeeze in after Ben, maybe?
Ben's only changes.
I mean,
Well, actually, really, basically, it's just my question. I'm gonna just ask it now while you want to come.
I don't care.
So where do you think you guys are going to be at the side? Because I'm trying to figure that stuff out. Are we going to try to keep them open, or are we going to close them?
Well, this is my opinion on it. Adam had made a comment about finding a contractor that would do it for free. He mentioned if we could get somebody to do that, and if they keep track of what they spend and they pay us when they've done it, and we come out okay, well, I don't have any trouble keeping them open. But as far as the county putting any money toward it, we don't have it to put toward it.
Well, that's what I'm nervous, because even if we did that, then that would be the county will close them, and a contractor takes them.
I mean,
I'm still waiting on your other 2 guys to make a decision.
because we have to come up, I mean, the estimated revenue, just in the general fund for 26 is right there. It's $550,000 short. and that's where that is funded from primarily. So, I mean, I think using the word White's used before, that's low hanging fruit that we've got to cut something. And to me, if you look at a service that serves a tenth of the population and 25,000 have to pay into it, or a service like the community paramedicine that serves a large portion of the population, my vote would be to keep community paramedicine and cut satellite services. That's where I would be. But something's got to go. I mean, the numbers are black and white. We either have to cut $500,000 or we got to take a loan for $500,000 just to make what we did bare bones in 25. That's our only options here.
I'm with John on the commissioners need to make up their mind what they want to do. But if it helps them along, there is no money to fund it with. There's just no money. The simple, clean thing to do would be for them to just go ahead and vote and close them down. And if a private contractor wants to come in, we just get out of their way and let them do what private contractors do.
Let them charge.
Let them do whatever they want to do, you know, but there's no money to fund it with, Randy. You know, we're, I think between the three major funds, we're what, $750,000 to $1 million short just going into these budgets.
And we didn't have anything left last year.
And we had nothing left last year.
But I don't think it's fair either to drag this out and we all kick the can down the road knowing what the ultimate result is. And then come November or December, we say, well, they didn't fund us, and
Well, I think it's
it ends, and that,
drop it in our lap.
yeah.
I mean, if that's what they're looking for, I'll be the guy. I won't support it. And they can say, James Ritchie won't support it, so we're just.
And John White won't support it.
And that's what I want to do. I mean, I want to push the agenda.
It just
on
doesn't
next-
make sense.
Next meeting to say, guys, there's no money for this anymore. So unless you're gonna pull out your,
I really do believe that improvements we made at the landfill, I think everybody just needs to go to the landfill, myself, because we put a lot of money out there and people needs to start using it.
I mean, I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
the next budget session we set through, if that thing ain't making money, something's gonna happen there, because the proof's right in front of us. If we think 26 is gonna be hard, they're telling us right now 27, 28 is gonna look a lot worse. So we either are all in on the landfill, which I thought our board and your board was, because we,
I do too.
you know, you came to us in good faith, told us this is the plan. And I feel like everybody at this table bought into it.
And that's.
Did our
that
thing.
Time was the.
Right.
Well, if anybody's been out there lately, that landfill is pretty busy. It's been busy every time I've been out there. And I think if to give it a fair shot, the sideline's got to be closed, in my opinion.
And
It's just
credit where credit's due. I mean, there's a lot of work and a lot of effort's gone into that place, and it's a lot better than what it was 6-8 months ago. Now, like I said the other night, it needs to start generating some money.
Yeah, and I think it will. The sidelights.
That's gonna be the telltale sign. Now, as far as those satellites,
I think it needs to be closed.
I'm sorry, I don't know that there's any money to fund those.
So it sounds like the council's going to keep on.
I would say
Safe
that's,
to say, right?
And I don't think it's gonna be a crisis, because when you think about our population as opposed to Clark County population, Clark County offers 0 trash service. Like, if you want your trash gone, you are responsible to do that. So I don't think it's gonna be this crisis that everybody thinks it is, that people are gonna be dumping all over the county. That's
They
gonna happen
already are.
regardless.
It will be.
I think that's happened for 20 years regardless.
It will be. That's gonna happen anyway.
So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's
I can tell you that
effective.
most people's trash, when everybody is paying, most people's trash rate is going to go down out there.
That's what's so foreign to me, Randy, is Floyd County.
nothing.
No, you just pay for trash service.
Well,
I
and-
mean, unless you're in the city of New Albany, but then you pay the city of New Albany
Well,
for trash
I
service.
think it's great that we've managed to, Randy has figured out a way to keep our landfill or transfer station open. And I'm gonna give him kudos on that one. He's worked himself to death out there.
100%, yeah.
And, you know, we've got 2 other commissioners that's just not wanting to, take the hit for saying we can't afford them no more. And it's quite obvious with those numbers on that board right there, there's things gonna have to be cut.
think it's more telling to me that Randy's the one saying, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work anymore, because he is the one that put most of the work into it.
Well, he's been saying it
Here,
for
okay,
3 years.
I'm sorry, Ben, I'm interrupting. Here's the thing with the satellites.
It's more than 2 minutes.
Could they work? Yes, but we'll have to invest about $50,000. And then here's the flip
We
side.
just don't have it.
You've got to manage that. And if it doesn't get managed, it's gonna go right back into the hole. The best way to do it is to go ahead and just cut it off.
100%.
Well, there's a lot of us at this table that's gonna be hated anyway, so.
And there's people who don't like me saying that, I know, but I mean, that's just how business is.
I don't like this anyway.
The ultimate is taxes in this county are gonna have to change because we've been run bankrupt damn near, and I can't see pouring more money into a system that we have no business being in, quite honestly.
Well, and if we spend if we spend that 50,000 to keep them satellites open, that means I've got to raise everybody's trash rate to pay for that contract.
You can't do that.
Extra
Well,
contract.
And like you said, you have to have a full-time employee, which means
That means more.
every citizen in this county is paying for salaries, wages.
Well, that's gonna be figured into your price of the way that you're charging,
And then,
right?
then it
That'll
goes,
be taken care
goes on to, you know,
of.
it's just,
Still, that's another.
it's a slippery slope that we got
it's
no
another
business
thing to
being
keep
in.
your price going up on your cost of getting rid of your trash.
Even to make just a transfer station work, we're gonna have at least 2 more part-time people out there. And I mean, that's gonna be a must, because one guy cannot run them scales and go over and run that compactor. And the least thing we need is IDEM back on us. You know, we just looked at the big fine for them. But I think Randy's on the right path. I believe the place can pay for itself, and that's all we're after. We're not trying to make money on it. We're trying to get the place to pay for itself.
Yeah.
And I believe he's got the right plan to do that.
Well, let's get with Ben here so we can get.
Yeah.
All right,
Then you're up.
Thank you, Randy.
yep.
Thank you, Randy.
No.
Guys, I really haven't changed much of mine at all, other than adding the longevity into mine and the salary. Everything else I've just kept the same.
You been here 5 years now?
Almost 6. So,
Time flies
Said
when
you'd
we're
have to
having
drag him out of the
fun.
building. Get rid of it.
yeah, so that's basically the only thing I've changed on my budget, period. And I don't even know if I can do this or not, but I forgot to put longevity on my budget for 25. Can I do that today? Can we
We
make
have
a
to-
line?
We can advertise for additional. Where, what is?
Or you were the one that, a lot of times if you've got stuff left over, that.
I will
could
be
transferred.
able, that's what I'm talking about. I can transfer that out of my dues and subscriptions. I don't need more money. I just need to create that line item on last year's budget and transfer the money from one line.
Well, we can't do it today because it's not on the agenda, but we could,
Just
is
send
it
us
in
an
the same
email,
fund,
we
right?
can do it.
Would you transfer by
Well,
resolution?
it'll be one, I'll have to come to council, but just
Yeah.
send an email to us and we can get the resolution ready for the September meeting. Which it would be better, because I think they're paid out in November, so I mean, don't put that off a long time before you.
All right, but yeah, that's about it for me. I mean,
Which one do you want to transfer from?
There's a
the
subscription.
Dues.
dues and subscriptions.
All right.
Transferred out of there.
Is your fuel still good at 3,000?
Yeah, actually, this year I've not used near as much fuel. Things are a little slower
Yeah,
and
okay.
not as many little projects that have me running.
Well, you're kind of playing your steps anyway, if you were kind of going,
You try to, I mean,
trying to make a route.
yeah, like I started at 8 this morning in Lexington. I had 3 in Lexington, so that worked out good today. That don't always happen. Most of the time it's one end of the county to the other, right? But, you know, so yeah, I'm good on all my money from last year and stuff, so I just kept everything the same, didn't feel like I needed increase in any line item other than
What
salary.
about your vehicle maintenance?
Yeah, still doing good on it. Of course, it's just oil changes and stuff now, so
Nothing's
hopefully
been
for a
taken
long
out of
time.
it yet, though. You've not taken anything out of it yet, so.
This should, I've had 2 oil changes, so evidently
so-
PC Auto ain't sending them in.
Well, I need to call them. They were talking about invoices. They might send them to the wrong place.
I'll say,
I'll
yeah,
need
he
to
don't
check,
have
'cause I'm
any.
not sure.
Yeah,
This
that's what I'm saying. If
this
you got
had
two oil
changed
changes.
last week.
You want to make you a note on that? or-
No, I've got
You got
to
it,
call
okay.
them.
That's all, I've had 2 oil changes this year.
You're wearing an apparel. I think we did some switching there or something. Is that good for you now?
Yeah, and later on, gets a little later on, now that I took on this certification for floodplain
Yeah.
and stuff, I might want to get some tip waders and some
Okay.
some stuff.
Yeah.
that If I do get called out in a situation.
Do you use postage?
I
Rarely.
usually don't, but the way it used to work, Marty would, I
Do
would
it,
get
yeah.
stamps
Right.
for Marty out of my budget.
Yeah.
So last year, she didn't need any, so,
Well, it gets towards the end of this year and you haven't used that.
yeah.
It's a similar line for, you can ask Jennifer, even if we need to help or whatever, but we could transfer the 200 out of that into your wearing apparel and get those waders you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to think about that, because some of that stuff I had to watch and go through and stuff.
Yeah.
You're if you have a flood area, if you do have a flood, I'm kind of required
Yep.
to survey
The area.
damage and stuff, and I thought, there's a few things like that I'm gonna think about the
Yeah.
next month or so to try to get it there so I can scramble under the surface.
You need to range your bass boats when we go check some
Yeah.
flood water. I mean, if you need a second guy. But no, I appreciate it, Ben. You always stay on point and you do good things, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the recognition, but.
And thanks for taking on that other task of the floodwater stuff.
Yeah, I had left that, I've been watching a lot of it anyway, but then Holcomb decided to
Yeah,
make you require it and
Right.
stuff. And funny thing is, I'd done all that
really?
on pre-webinars.
Yep.
But when I called him about it, well, you did it before he,
No,
I was like, what matters if you.
right. If you've done it, you've done it.
And it's
Well, I
like,
appreciate it. It helps us out a lot that you're doing that. So, all right. Anybody got anything for Ben?
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, buddy.
You want me to bring Randy back in?
Thank you. No, we're good.
No, heck no.
No, and heck no.
We'll see you guys.
See you, man.
Be careful out there. And it's Brittany. Come on up.
Do you want a break or?
Nah, we're rolling. How's Brittany?
Good, how are you guys?
All right, I guess.
You having fun yet?
Oh, blast.
I bet.
We're thinking about coming back Sunday.
You are?
You are, have fun.
Nothing.
Somebody might be.
Oh, it's maybe some business. in
I thought I was gonna get killed bad enough for the Saturday thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, well, maybe you should show up.
Surprise.
Ah! Last time you didn't show up, we signed you up for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's all right.
He missed the meeting where we appoint everybody to boards last year. Guess who was on a bunch of them?
Yep, that's how it works.
All right, where you want to start?
I don't know.
I don't either.
This year's not, obviously not as good as last year where I came with a bunch of money.
I know.
This really sucks.
Yeah.
So we lost the immunization grant, and we lost, our HFI went from 568,000 to 152,000, which really sucks. So we're really hurting. So what I did for this year, and obviously this is only a temporary fix, is I'm trying to use up a bunch of the old COVID funds that we have just sitting there. And so that's why I have so many funds this year, because I'm trying to
Burn them up.
spread it out and burn those up until we can hopefully get in a better situation.
Let's start on this year.
So I guess the first one on our packet's the 1159. You
Okay.
wanna go through that one?
Yep. And our problem on a lot of things is that we have moved a lot of our supplies, our contracts, our equipment, a lot of that was in immunization and also in the HFI 1161. So we've had to move a little bit of that here, but a lot of that I've tried to put in these COVID lines.
So just on you grants that you lost, how much money did you lose for this year?
It's substantial.
We lost 5,000 in the preparedness grant. I said 2, didn't I? But it was actually 5. We lost 5,000 in that. We lost the immunization grant, which was 159,000.
Wow.
And then we've lost that HFI,
400.
yeah, 400,000 some.
$500,000 cut out of her
Yeah.
budget.
More than that.
And then we're $500,000 short in what we would make.
So,
I just asked you something, she said she lost some grants, I didn't know how much.
do you think you could run your office off of what you have
Yes.
for next year?
For next year, yes. But like I said, it's COVID funds, so it's not gonna be replenished, like,
right,
once that's out, that's out. But for this,
At least we might figure out more what we can do for next year.
that's
but
what my hope.
Before
is.
the end of next year, I'll say that. Yeah.
Yes, that's my hope and prayer for sure.
But you got a pretty substantial raise last year whenever that HFI came in. So
Yes,
if we held everybody there,
where we're at.
I mean, ultimately, the big thing is I don't want to have to let people go. And I know you
That's
don't.
my thing.
But there again, the understanding I think with that grant was we were moving people to that with having it, and then shocked the state said no. So,
Yeah.
Guess that's kind of where we're at.
And there's people fighting for us to get at least some of that back. I've been on several meetings where they're like, there's a lot going on in the background. People are trying to fight to get health department some of that back, because that was the thing when they gave it to us, and that was the whole point, was that public health dollars were not steady, and we couldn't do things because we didn't know what was coming, and this was supposed to be steady, and then
Yeah, it was
all of a
supposed to be
sudden.
the fix.
Yeah, and then it was-
So the next year to come, we might get some of that.
we might get
money
some,
back. Okay.
yes, that's the whole goal of everybody in public health.
But as this year, you can still, you still be okay with your equipment.
Yep. And my goal is to, obviously, like you said, keep all the staff, that's my main thing.
Right.
We have an amazing staff right now, like, everybody is like rocking it in their jobs, so.
Well, and you guys, I mean, you're doing good things. There's nothing bad to say out there, nothing that I know of you even need to improve. So.
Bottom line, how much has, without me looking through all this and last year, how much have we moved to the county's general fund? Anything that, so you found all the money
It
in your
stays.
COVID?
So she isn't gonna draw anything off the county. as
Well,
far
no.
as she's
that
supposed
saves
to
me a
say.
lot of looking. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm tickled up the way you're doing
I
things.
mean, it's still all grants out there.
Yes.
It's cleaning up some that's been there for a long time, because some of that stuff came in early COVID
Yes,
and it's setting money. So
and
get that.
like, one of the things that we did on the HFI 1161 was the paramedicine program, and I'm fighting like hell to keep that too, because that is working really, really well. And you can talk to Nick about that later, but we've talked about several things. I have that in one of these COVID lines to keep. All I pay for is the salaries and the fringe for the girls to do that job, and then he pays for everything else, the supplies, the car, the gas, everything. So working together like that has worked really, really well. And so I'm trying to keep that, but there are several grants I can apply for that too. So I'm gonna apply for everything I can to try to offset some of that money. But obviously I have to budget for it in case we don't get a grant, but I'm trying to find more money for that.
I mean, the two are 57.2 apiece, right? 7,200 times 2, and then you got one at 11.
Yeah, that was like his part-time line. He said he needed for coverage when those two, because we don't ever want anybody to go out by themselves. We
So in
always want-
salaries alone, it's 125,400 is what we spend on paramedicine or community paramedicine.
And that is with the 10% increase that you told me to put in there.
Yeah,
That would be-
What fund is that in? 1160?
right now it's COVID-19 vaccine admin fee, which, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think the health department in general got a pretty good bump last year with that. So I wouldn't be shocked if those stay as is to conserve some funds.
And I
And
wouldn't be with it. You told me 10%, sorry.
No, I get it. I do. I'm just being,
And then my thing too was like,
Being honest
Judy always
with you.
says, go high, you can always go lower. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just put it in there.
I'm just being honest with
We
you.
can't add it back.
I think digging in, that would be a fair compromise and an effort to keep
Absolutely.
people's jobs is they gotta understand
I totally agree with that.
they got there. So that would be, obviously I'm one of 7, but that would be something I would look to do. And I mean, I appreciate digging in and coming up with a plan to try to save as much as we can and save the paramedicines. That's a very, very important program. And
How many people in the service are on that?
They're seeing like 57 people a week,
Oh, my
which
goodness.
is like insane to me, but,
yeah,
Wow.
they've done a lot of good stuff.
and that drives cost for everybody ultimately, because that's 57 people that's not going to the ER up here and sitting to where if the citizens need ER help, you're not sitting in the line behind those 57 because we're going to them and taking care of it. And it's keep cost of healthcare in the county down, which overall helps everybody. So I think that's a service we provide that we just need to fight for, in my opinion on it.
Me too.
But, alrighty, well, yours are gonna take some diving through, but I will dedicate some time to look at it and
Okay.
try to do my vote the best for everything you got here. Anybody got any questions for Brittany?
I think
They've always done good.
I think if she's handling everything and approve it now.
It's up to you guys. Do you wanna say go as is, or back the salaries down to 25 and go as is?
I went out there and wore Brittany out a couple of times. She has been more than kind.
We can't vote on it.
No, but I'm just saying,
I know,
that's,
but I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be the only thing I would look to change is
For her to
because,
lose that much money in grants and still be able to do this.
Exactly.
You're definitely doing a good
yes,
job.
you're doing
Thank you for
excellent
doing
job.
that.
For sure.
and my
A lot of
reason,
people that come to the table that I can only speak for myself, I go, there's a lot of people that come to the table, I go, all right.
And-
You're one of the others.
and I'll be honest, my reason for the salary move isn't because the money here. It's because if we up it 10% and say, yeah, you got it, go for it. And then next year we gotta keep somebody. Now we're on the hook for that much more.
That's true.
And they did get a raise last year and a lot of people here didn't. So that would be my reasons behind that move.
Well, and also the next year to see if she can get some more grants for some more money back that she had.
Well, or if she's got a skin of her teeth, keep somebody, maybe it keeps the cost down on
Yeah, exactly.
the ability to do that.
Well, some of that stuff we're working on at the state level to hopefully get some funding back to the health departments. That gives you a year to.
Yeah.
So you all need to talk to the people at the state and really push the HFI, because
I'll be honest, that's the worst part of this whole job. Like, I could sit here and say fire extinguisher replacement, too bad, I'm taking that money and never blink an eye, but telling you gotta get rid of a person and their livelihood is just, that weighs on me and it's tough to do.
Well, especially when you're taking
Especially
care
when
of
they're all
people.
working well together. out
Yeah.
And everybody doing a good job. I mean, it'd be different if,
It's like a machine, take the one wheel off and it
right,
kind of flops around a little bit.
yeah. So I appreciate you more than you know for the work you do out there. So, but I don't foresee my vote changing it much at all other than what I said.
okay. And then I did go ahead and add, because last year I had to come back to you guys for this 1168 for the summer help. I went ahead and put that in,
Put it
we'll
on
have to do
there.
that
I
next
seen it.
year. We had two
I looked for
interns
that
this summer that were amazing. Like, I don't know if we would have lived with them, especially moving everything from the Austin office. I mean,
Down.
I can't do stuff like that. But then like our back to school clinics and stuff, they were just amazing, so.
Good deal.
Hey, I know you have donated the use of that black fan to elections numerous times, and
Yeah.
I appreciate the heck out of that. That just working within the county and being able to use stuff like that and keep costs down is what it's all about for us, and that means a lot. So, Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome, that's it. I scheduled you guys for 30 minutes.
Look at that.
But
But
it's
you were-
lunch,
but
so
you
now
were
you
on
get
it.
an early lunch.
Who knows about
No,
that?
we still have Purdue at 11:30, right?
Oh, you do?
$500 wouldn't cut
It's
off.
okay. Thanks for the try, though. I told them I'm an 11 o'clock leader. I don't know what noon is about.
I mean,
Kinley,
she
take
has
note
the
next
last
year.
couple of years.
11 o'clock.
She has.
I start getting grumpy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brittany.
Kinley's my new favorite person.
You're hungry?
No offense, Kinley. I still love you, but.
It didn't sound like it.
She just got
John
my
over there
organizational.
poking, John over there poking the bear.
Yeah,
Didn't sound like it.
Well, she did say when I said we're on mute, I said, oh, good, I can run my mouth. And then I looked at her and I said, I always run my mouth. She goes, well, I didn't want to say it.
I wasn't gonna say that.
But she was
Josh
thinking
already
it.
done as well.
She let me know she was thinking it.
What is it?
Josh already done as well.
Yeah, he's done. And I mean, for him, I'll probably be an approve as is. He always gives up that $5,000 stipend that we,
And all of these things, we can't change.
I mean,
Who's that?
and the
Josh Stigler.
Oh,
public
Stick.
defender. And his, I mean, several of his went down, from what was even requested, so.
There's a lot of these.
Are we gonna break
It's gonna be easy.
something?
Just boom, boom, boom.
Well, if
We
there's
can. Does anybody need a
10%
break?
raises on there.
Oh, no, you're gonna have to.
We got a little bit. We got to 11:30 if anybody needs a break. You can.
So you said Stig was probably as is, or
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm doing on this
salaries?
front page. I'm trying to write some notes to remind me what I'm thinking of these because some of them will be able to, move through.
Didn't Stig gonna have some salary increases then?
No.
If I get phones up, break,
Change it.
Yeah.
got a horse on.
Who's that on?
That's my fault.
You get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we muted?
Boy, you change the color on it next year.
No.
John
All
Collins.
right, after a break, we're back on the record here with the Purdue Extension Office and whatever you want to say.
I don't have a lot to say. We have, I got your email about looking at like what we really need. And so Shelley and I kind of sat down and looked at, what we thought we would need. Our our spending has been a little different this year because as you guys probably know, we lost our 4-H educator, she left. And so, we haven't had a 4-H educator position. Tom and I and Shelley, we've still been doing 4-H related things, but we haven't probably spent as much as we normally would. But a lot of that will still come out. Our year kind of starts in the fall, and so we'll do a lot of things in the fall where a lot of that money will come out still for this year. We did have, let's see. So our contractual services, that's just a number I get from campus. It's nothing that I come up with. It's some magical thing that they do and put the numbers in. And so that number's just given to me. Other than that, the things, I did do the 10% increase that was originally said to do for the office manager. The one increase besides those two things was the AC and terminal, which is like our printer, which Shelley had said that she figured out how much we would actually need, because like the last couple of years, I guess we've been transferring money because it's been more than what we were told or thinking it was gonna be. And so she figured out how much we think we actually need for that, which it went from $1,900 to $2,700 for this year. And so because of that, we kind of looked at a few other things to see where we could maybe lower some. So we thought, like for office supplies, last year we did 3,000, so we requested 2,500 for that. Teaching, 800 instead of 1,000, and then for the maintenance contracts, she thought we could go from 3,500 to 3,000, and then for 4-H from 4,500 to 4,000. So those were, we kind of bargained a little bit there because we do need more funds in that terminal one. We will hopefully have a 4-H educator. They did finally post the position last week. And we got a new director, and so I'm hoping she kind of makes that a priority, and hopefully within the next couple of months, that might be optimistic, but hopefully we will have a new 4-H educator before the end of this year. I hope it's way before the end of the year, but we will be filling that position, so. I don't know if you had any questions or?
I don't think so. The contract, it went up from 89,725 to 92,400.
Yes.
So ain't much we can do with that. You said you took the 4-H program down 500 to offset that other one.
Yeah, I went down from office supplies, teaching, contracts, and 4-H. We tried to go down at least a little bit to try and help offset the one. Yeah, like I said, the contractual services, that's just a number they give us from Purdue, so.
And the office manager is the director you're talking about, or?
That's Shelley.
That's Shelley.
Yeah,
That's who's paid the.
she's our one county employee.
Anybody got anything?
You said something about your maintenance contracts. What are those?
That would be, like our computers, we pay like a lease, a computer lease.
There's not much been paid on it. That's why I was looking to see why.
Yeah, they give it, it's a bill we just get from Purdue, and then as soon as we get it, we pay it. So it will all, that will zero out. It'll all come out. We never know when they're gonna send it to us.
1,500.
It was, I just showed it was.
1978.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
It's kind of like an all
She just
in one
printed
thing.
these, how are these not right?
I'm telling you, according to this, that ain't right. The ACN terminal, looks like you've used like $1,978 of it, but it was at 24 with that $500 transfer that we did, so.
Well, it was appropriated 24, but it says spent 1,500. So they spent $400 more between when they
Yeah.
printed these and now. Okay.
Right, which is probably just another claim.
What about the travel expenses? She has 3,000 budgeted. She's only spent 1,663 this year.
Looks like 1,800 now, so another couple $100 since that was printed, so there's 1,100 in there, which you still go to that fall
Yeah, there'll still be
Something
some,
fun.
there's a lot of, yeah, it picks up kind of in August, like we each have like some, we go to the state fair and then in the fall our conferences and stuff. And so, and like this year, it may be less since there's only 2 of us.
2 of you.
But usually on a normal year, there'd be 3 of us getting mileage, so.
What's the dues and subscriptions? 765's gotta be something specific.
Well, it is specific. So each of us, educators, we have a, organizations that we have to be part of. So the Indiana Educator Association and then our national organizations. And so it pays the dues on those. So yeah, it's a very
I was just
specific.
wondering if nothing's been paid
Yeah,
out of
that'll
it.
be one that we get the
Late.
invoice for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Anybody got any other questions?
No, very much. No.
All righty.
Thank you for trying to.
Appreciate it.
Fiscally responsible too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, some of the overage is the contract changing on that one, but some of it is the, salary
There's
too,
about
with the 10% on
$5,000
it.
difference.
But yeah, there's a $5,000 difference from 25 to 26, $5,300.
But it seems like there's not much we can get rid of. She's got rid of what she could, except.
Other
for the
than whatever
salary.
we do with that salary is the only thing I think you could look at there.
Well, I think in the general fund, you guys have to decide if you're gonna give raises, it's gotta be across the board. or
Right.
Not
And
all
one thing I was gonna say, no matter what we do, I think we should look at Ben's salary, because he did take on that other role, and that commissioners were gonna pay Kevin $20,000, I think, to do that, is what they wanted to do, but then Ben said he would do it, so I mean, even if we could give him a little something for doing it, I think it would be fair,
We can give them the 10% raise, just ask them for a pay.
in my opinion. So,
Start.
I mean, I think that'd be an easy one to look at, because he did take on more work, irregardless of what we do with anybody else. Other than that, I think if you guys wanna talk about some of these that we've been through, we can. If you wanna break and go to lunch, we can, or if you wanna go to lunch, come back and do it, I don't care.
If you guys want to, I know everybody's talking about the shed over there. It's got all the papers. If you want to go over there and do a little field trip real quick, I
Oh,
want to go
God.
over and kind of look and see what it's like. Because I think that's something we ought to address. Yeah, when we move over to City Hall, how that works, because we've got a building over here across from the sheriff's office that just has papers. It's boxes like these. These are still here from my office where they're doing their capital assets policy. I've got a whole room full of them in here. They're stacked around our desk. But there is a building over there that's pretty, yeah, this storage, you might have seen it. I don't know if anybody else has. As I said, I've got a key. We can walk over real quick and just give it a glance if you want to, since there's a little extra time.
What's in the box?
It's just files. It's court files. It's our payroll files. It's stuff from years ago.
Might not be skating.
Yeah, that's,
Or
but it's,
destroyed?
it can be, some of it probably can be destroyed. But it's gonna take people going through those. It's gonna take schedules to get that done. But the scanning is gonna be expensive. That's
We mean
expensive.
Hey, Kinley,
Just takes a
what's
while.
soil and water under? Isn't it something,
I know, that's what I paid my mom for, to do, scan all my clothes stuff.
we pay it out of the commissioner's fund though, right? Yeah, cause I think it's just,
5,000, they're wanting to.
okay.
Tell them we gotta be back.
One, I think it is.
I'm for that.
All right, we're gonna adjourn till 1:00.
That's what I was saying about one.